Before we get started, we want to acknowledge that at the Haskayne School of Business, we sit on the traditional territories of people of Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. This includes the Blackbird Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nations, and the Stoney Dakota, including the Shikini, Bearsfell, and Wesley First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. Welcome to the U at UCalgary Haskayne School of Business presentation. We're so happy you could join us today. My name is Melanie. I'm currently a Bachelor of Commerce student at Haskayne, and I'm excited to be one of your moderator for the next hour. I'll let our other moderator introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Zainab. I'm also a Bachelor of Commerce student here at Haskayne. We will be sharing a bit more of our stories later on this morning. Please note that this presentation is being recorded and we will be using closed captioning throughout the presentation.
We know that not everyone is calling from Calgary, and that at our Haskayne students and alumni represents 90 different countries around the world. We would love to see where you're calling from today. Please take a moment to scan the QR code on the screen to access our poll for the presentation. You can also access our poll by using the link in the chat. You're not required to use your name if you wish to remain anonymous. To get us started, you will see a picture of a map where you can select your location. Well, it was so great to see how many different places are represented. We're so thankful that each and every one of you were able to take the time to be here with us today.
We know that an hour can go by quickly and we want to make the most of it. Please feel free to use the chat feature to connect with each other in the Q&A feature in Zoom as we move along. If we do not get to your question or you get disconnected, you can always contact our office at futurebcom@haskayne.ucalgary.ca or at undergrad@haskayne@ucalgary.ca. Those email addresses will be added to the chat below.
Next, we're excited to introduce Dr. Jim Doyle, Dean of the Haskayne School of Business. Dean Doyle has been part of the Haskayne leadership team since 2006, moving into the role of the Dean in 2013. He was appointed for his second term, so you will be lucky enough to have him as your Dean during your time here with us. We're going to hand it over to Jim to share a few words.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited. Hi, everyone. My name is Jim Doyle, and I'm very proud to be the Dean of the Haskayne School of Business. Welcome to you at UCalgary. I'm excited to share with you some of the great things happening at Haskayne, and I hope you are excited to learn more about us. Let me start, though, by acknowledging that things continue to be very challenging for everyone during this pandemic. At the same time, I want you to know that we've discovered new ways to enhance the educational experience, including bringing speakers from all over the world into the classroom. Business education has improved forever in that we can bring more of the world into your classroom every day. Now, still, we long for the return to face-to-face classes, and we don't know for sure what the situation will be, but I'm hopeful that health restrictions will support us being together in September. But no matter, I can assure you that you will receive the best education available in Canada. And I can also assure you that you'll have a very engaging and exciting experiential opportunities that you'll be able to participate in. Now, despite the pandemic and tough economic situation, Haskayne continues to grow and thrive. And our connection with the business community is as strong as ever, and probably the best business school connection of any Canadian university in any Canadian city. Calgary is known worldwide as a top business city. And we at we are Calgary's business school, so the connection is strong. If you want to know business, if you want to know business people, Haskayne is simply the right school for you. Our students are fully engaged through our mentorship program, virtual events, case competitions, experiential learning, co-op, and dedicated academic advising and career guidance to connect you with your profession, with the professors in your school, your peers, and the business community. The quality of our school and our Bachelor of Commerce program is why our application numbers are up again this year, a strong indication of the value of business education and the keen interest there is in the Haskayne school programs. Now we have a special surprise. One of the most exciting things happening at the Haskayne School is our expansion into a new building. It's under construction. The 4th floor has already been poured, and it'll be opening in the fall of 2022. It's an incredible addition called Matheson Hall. It's a state-of-the-art complex built exclusively to provide one of the best student experiences of any university in the world. Specifically, I want you to know that we provided the architects with goals that included making it a very strong student experience, adding approximately 40 individual meeting rooms for students to have group projects and to meet on their own, syndicate rooms we call them, as well as new classrooms. And the architecture and the technology brought into each classroom is truly cutting edge. It's a beautiful building. Well, you know, I don't have to say much more about it because I'm going to show you a little video that will tell you a little bit about it. But before we get to that, I just want to say in closing, please reach out if you have any questions. There's an incredible team at Haskayne. You're going to meet some of them this morning who will support you all the way along your academic journey. But before I sign off, I want to show you a small glimpse of Matheson Hall, what it will look like in a virtual fly-through video. I'm very excited for you as you enter your university experience. This is your time. I can't wait to meet you face to face, but now let's take a look at Matheson Hall. Very excited about Matheson Hall. It's going to be a beautiful building. Now, one of the things about our school is we focus on our Bachelor of Commerce program. It's a core of our school. And because of that, we have an associate dean that's dedicated to your program. And she's very experienced, very knowledgeable, and just a wonderful person. So please join me in welcoming Sherry Weaver, Associate Dean of the Bachelor of Commerce program. Sherry?
Thank you, Jim. As always, a wonderful introduction. And every time I see that video, I am so excited because I'm looking forward to my undergrad office and my entire team being over there to help support. So I'm just here to welcome you and thank you for getting up early or staying up late, depending on where you are. In order to meet with us and get ready for your upcoming year. It's going to come before you even know it. And I just wanted to highlight some of the reasons that you should be excited about coming to Haskayne. And I know it's a time where people are nervous, but there's really so much to look forward to. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that Jim talked about us being, you know, top school, best place for your education, no matter whether or not we are in person or a combination. We are a supportive faculty. And so part of my role is to make sure that you feel that support, and you are going to start feeling that support from this point forward. We have an amazing team of advisors that are there to answer your questions, and we have great student mentors, and you're going to see some of them today. And I'm just really excited to welcome you to the Haskayne family. We are driven to stand out as well. We are one of the most prolific schools when it comes to case teams and being active outside of the classroom and really making a difference. And that will continue on with your incoming class. We are explorers. We have lots of students that go on exchanges, go on co-op work terms. We don't just stay inside our building, even though it's going to be lovely. We go out and we explore and we make a name for ourselves. We are a family, most of all. And that's the one thing I want you to continue to always remember during tough times, reach out for help. And that's what we're here for. It's very difficult for us to help unless we know that you have some things that you need us to assist with. So please don't hesitate to reach out and get that help whenever you need it. That's what we're here for. We are diverse, and you'll see throughout this presentation this morning, and once you get to the school, that we are a family of diversity, and we have so many different students representing various different backgrounds, international backgrounds, gender, just overall, we are here and we accept everybody, and we have a general respect throughout our student body and faculty, and that's what makes us a real family. And finally, we are a place to be bold. So it might not feel like you want to be bold right away, but we are going to help that occur. And we have a new program that we will be bringing in for your incoming class, where we're really looking at developing career skills and leadership development, and it's our Project Bold. You'll be receiving information starting fairly soon with our Countdown to Haskayne newsletter, and we are going to give you lots of different ways to start getting involved with Haskayne. And the first way to get involved with Haskayne is your registration, picking your courses. And the one last thing I wanted to leave you with was that we have gone to great lengths to create cohorts for you, so that you can start to feel like you are part of a family. And so I definitely recommend that you make sure, go pick your cohort of choice, add your courses that you want to add on to it. And the beautiful thing is you will see your cohort of students in not just 1, 2, but 3 or 4 classes. So you can start to create those bonds and start to feel like you really belong. And that's what we really want from you. I'm going to now hand it over to our 2 moderators. We have Melanie and Zainab that are going to come back and talk to you more.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Next, we would like to share a bit about our experience at Haskayne, but first we would love to see how all of you are feeling about starting your first year with us. Please check out our polls and you'll be able to share your thoughts on joining us this September. You can type in as many words as you want. We just ask you to keep it PG. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, these nerves were probably the same ones that we felt. So I'm going to start off with my story and my experience. So as mentioned before, I'm Zainab. I'm a 3rd-year accounting student here at Haskayne. So a typical day for me before the pandemic would be I would commute to the university via train. I'd attend my classes, probably back to back. And then I would go to TFDL with my friends, have lunch there. You can book rooms at TFDL where you can study and work together, which I really liked. I would usually have another class after that, and then have a longer break where I would just go to a quiet place to study. Sometimes I would have a group meeting or a lab or a tutorial depending on the day. But yeah, so some highlights for me was I was actually a volunteer for OL in my second year. I also got to attend the kickoff game, which was pretty fun during orientation week. And then I also volunteered at the SU tax program, which is like basically for accounting majors or business majors, which was fun. And then it got cut short due to COVID. But yeah, and also like there's a lot of fun activities to do. Haskayne is really a community, and we do a lot of programs, a lot of work together in groups. So you'll definitely be meeting people. So don't ever feel alone. It's my like one advice. And then I'll pass it off to Melanie.
Thank you, Zainab. So here's a little bit about my story. I'm currently a fourth year of international business and economic major. And so my orientation was actually back in 2017. And I remember it was really, really fun. So the little video, it's not really moving on the screen right now, but on the left over there, it's taken on a faculty orientation day in the Haskein building. It's literally a human choo-choo train that we have to make, and it goes through almost the entire first floor of Haskein building, and it led us to the outside, and then at the outside we were able to join our house, which is similar to our cohort, and then so to play game with each other and just to know each other. Not gonna lie, it took us forever to finish that train in the building, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I was also involved in many different clubs on campus during my 4 years of undergrad. I was really lucky that I joined the student club called Isaac, actually. It definitely was one of my favorite experiences so far. I had the opportunity to develop professional connections to develop professionally. And also I really enjoyed traveling around with my friends throughout the club. I was able to travel to almost 2 to 3 different cities each year, just with friends and my peers in Isaac to join different conferences around inside Canada. And that was one of the highlights of my student life, to go out there and meet as many people as I could. You can see there's a lot of pictures on the screen that I took with my friends. We do in business formal, we talk to leaders, but at the same time, we also have fun. We dress in just our onesies and then just have fun with each other. And I also really love to dance. So I decided to audition for U of C Dance Montage in my second and third year of undergrad. And then the picture on the bottom over there, you can see that's actually the University Theater. So if you also have different other interests like arts or anything else, there's plenty of opportunities on campus to support every student, and you can get involved in many, many different ways and to explore the things that you're passionate about and you like, or just your hobby. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story. Next, we are excited to introduce 2 of our Haskayne Become alumni. With over 26,000 Haskayne alumni, there are many remarkable stories about how Haskayne has made mark on the world, but we think you will find these stories to be exponentially inspirational. We have asked David Slawheed and Jacqueline P.S. to join us today to share a bit about their journey with Haskayne and what they have been up to since graduating. So Davis, we'll hand it over to you first.
Thanks, Melanie. Hi, everyone. My name is David Slawheed. I was a former Bachelor of Commerce majoring in real estate. I graduated in December of 2019. So I'm originally from Vancouver, and I moved here my first year. And I only have positive things to say about my experience from Haskayne. I think one of the best things for me was getting involved in all the out-of-class experiences. So for me, this is a photo just of me and my friends. We started the Business Pride Club at the University of Calgary, and we had a great turnout at this event. So this is just at one of the clubs that we had our event at. I've also been involved with a lot of different clubs, including the Real Estate Students Association, as well as HSA, which is the Haskayne Students Association. And a lot of other things that I did would be probably the co-op program, which was really great for me to find a job. I had 3 different co-op terms. So I worked at Altus Group, which is a research company for real estate, as well as I worked for the Haskayne team. And then another couple experiences I did was I traveled to Japan with a couple other students, or actually 20 other students or so, which was a really great experience. And I think some of the other things I did that I really enjoyed were the outdoor ed trip. So I think that was with 20 other students or so, and we got to go out to Kananaskis and just pretty much just do a learning about ourselves. And yeah, that was really fun. Something I would recommend to some students coming in was be as open as you can. You're probably going to feel so overwhelmed with all these different clubs, experiences, and things you can do. But if you can just join one club, you're going to learn about so many other things in Haskayne. So I think just really just getting started with joining one club, well, whatever you choose, it's totally up to you, because everyone's going to have different experiences. And don't be afraid to just ask for help if you need anyone. The undergraduate team, they have a great project specialist there that can help direct you with your classes, interests, everything. So don't be afraid to go speak with one of them. And right now I'm currently working at Colliers, which is a real estate company here in Calgary. It's actually a national company. And I got my real estate license recently, and I'm still living in Calgary. So overall, I've had a great experience with the Haskayne School of Business. And yeah, feel free to send me any questions. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or send me an email. It's just davis.lawheed@ucalgary.ca. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me. So I think I'm just going to pass it on now to Jacqueline.
Yeah, thanks. So hi, everybody. My name is Jacqueline, and I actually graduated from Haskayne this last December, so in 2020. I loved my university experience, and I have so many highlights similar to everyone who has chatted already. I actually started university right after high school, kind of like all of you, and I actually never thought that I would end up in business. I initially started university with this dream of helping people, and business didn't seem like the type of degree to get if that was my goal. So I actually started studying community development and poverty alleviation. But in my first semester, one of my professors actually brought in a social entrepreneur who was working to transform the oil industry in Alberta. And I was so inspired and intrigued by the power of business to change the world for the better. And I transferred immediately, and here I am today. So since then, I've been able to apply throughout my degree, I've been able to apply my business education to reduce poverty and help people all over the world in really unique ways through travel studies and clubs here on campus. But one of my biggest highlights was actually in the co-op program here at Haskayne. I interned in Laos for a social business that was working to empower women and empower rural farmers. If you don't know where Laos is, that's okay. It's a small country in between Thailand and Vietnam. And I actually lived there for 7 months back in 2019 when travel was allowed and still an option for all of us. But it changed my life. I saw how business and entrepreneurship can really change the world because I actually saw people empowered to break generational cycles of poverty with it. And also this thought of like profit at any cost in the business world is definitely something of the past. And this new look at business as a way to create positive change is definitely something you'll see at Haskayne. There were so many professors at this university who inspired me to see every part of business, from accounting to supply chain management to marketing, as opportunities to empower others and honestly just make the world a better place while also making money. So today I live in Calgary, and I'm actually working full-time for a nonprofit that is working to combat human trafficking and empower women in Southeast Asia. I'm leading their marketing and their communication efforts, and I honestly love what I do, and every day I get to be part of something bigger than myself. I am also an entrepreneur, and I recently launched a social business with a few friends of mine that also works to empower women. Lastly, I just wanted to say that you guys made an amazing choice pursuing a business degree. It's about as versatile and useful as it gets. Every single industry needs business people. So you can literally go wherever you want and do whatever you're passionate about. Yeah, you guys have made a great choice. I loved the school. And yeah, same thing. If you ever have any questions or want to reach out, you can send me an email at jackie.pace@gmail.com. So thanks. I think I will give it off to Melanie and Zainab.
Thank you so much for sharing your inspirational stories. We are now going to hand it over to Susanna Polak to share some questions from our new students.
Thanks, Zainab. Hi, everyone. So my name is Susanna. I am also a BCom student here at Haskayne, and I am currently completing a co-op work term with the Haskayne undergraduate team. And I'll be asking our panelists some questions today. So our first question will go to Davis. When you were a student, what experience out of class have you found to be the most impactful?
Wow. It's really hard to put one experience above any others, but one that does come to mind is probably doing and getting involved with the case competitions. There's so many great takeaways you can have from case competitions, because you have to put together an analysis and then you present to a panel of judges or whoever it may be, and you learn so much in the process. It's not only about the presentation, but working with group members, learning about, for me, my case competition was about real estate. So taking away real estate information, I think case competitions have a great impact. So that's probably for me, one of my experiences.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So our next question will be for Jacqueline. How has your experience in Haskayne prepared you for your current career path?
Yeah, I love this question, actually. Of course, being at Haskayne taught me a lot of hard skills, like working my way around an Excel spreadsheet or learning how to read and decipher financial statements, which are all very important and you will all learn. But that's actually not probably the most valuable thing. The most valuable thing that I got from Haskayne was learning how to think and also gaining such a diverse community. So being at Haskayne taught me to be really bold and helped me pursue getting out of my comfort zone. So I actually used to be terrified of networking events and presentations where I'd have to speak, which I'm sure there's a lot of you who are very anxious about those things as well. But I was very stubborn about being bold and signing up for networking events. And you don't really get a choice in business school for presentations. So that was kind of an easy way to get over that. But my first few presentations were so horrible and I didn't do very well. My first few networking events were so awkward, but they kept getting better. And now I love networking events. I love public speaking. And it was such a great and safe place to learn how to, not even to learn, but to enjoy getting out of your comfort zone. And actually one of the best pieces of advice I got about networking, just because it's such a big, you hear a lot about it in business school and it's such a great opportunity. But one of the best pieces of advice I had after quite a few very awkward events was from a business mentor. And she told me that she doesn't go to networking events to get something from somebody, or she doesn't come with 5 questions to ask a couple people. She goes to a networking event with the intention of being genuinely curious about every person she meets. And she says that is how conversations flow, and that is how you actually create a meaningful connection. And these connections are the most important thing that you get out of Haskayne. Yes, you get all these skills, but I didn't get to where I am today because of my classes or because of the hard skills that I gained. It was through my community, and it wasn't through connections that I made on LinkedIn. It was through connections that were very genuine and meaningful. So I would just encourage you guys to be very bold and be okay with being awkward for the first little bit. That's okay. We were all there at one point and we all have to go through it, but really pursue others and really be curious, because you are going to school, like Sherry said earlier, in a very diverse environment. You are meeting people from all over the world. Your professors have such amazing experiences that you will never know if you don't ask. So yeah, that's probably the most valuable thing that I got from Haskayne.
No, that's a great answer, and I definitely agree with that. Haskayne does set the stage for you to really get out of your comfort zone and become comfortable with a lot of things. So thank you for sharing that. Our next question, Zainab, this one will go for you. What was your favorite class that you had to take in your degree?
For me, I'm an accounting major, and the really first accounting class I took, 217, I think, which every business major would have to take, was really fun. I was interested in accounting, but I really didn't know much about accounting. So that class like set up the whole my like accounting program for me. And my prof at the time, she was really, really helpful. She's like, if you ever want to talk about anything, like you just have like hit me up for a coffee or something. So, and also like during that class, I made so many connections with like all my students and my peers. For me, I'm a really introvert person, so it's like hard for me to like talk, but it's so easy. Like even when you think you're alone, you could just sit beside someone else who's alone and you could just start chatting and that they could become your best friend. That happened to me, and I also like just like got inspired to learn even more about like accounting. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for that. And Melanie, I'm going to bring this one to you. What resources do you find to be the most useful as a Haskein student?
I think back in my first year when I first started, because of the business knowledge and also writing and a lot of like course knowledge, one resources that I found really helpful was the business library. They definitely had a lot to offer, especially also when it comes to citation. That's something I definitely struggled the most when I started my BCom degree. And they have great resources to provide academic wise and campus life wise. The great resources I had access to was student clubs and the student union. So the student union is very helpful in a way that they support all students on campus, and joining different Haskein clubs would definitely broaden your view and also help you to just be more in the community and to connect with different people in Haskein or on campus.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. We have time for one or two more questions. So Jacqueline, I'm going to bring this one back to you again. Do you have any tips for students that are coming into Haskein?
Oh, I have so many tips, but probably I would stand by what I said earlier, be genuinely curious about other people. Because sometimes I think as business students, and I remember this was never really taught to us by professors, but it's almost a frame of thinking that you have to do everything you can to improve your resume and do every extra class so that you can have these hard skills to make you competitive. And that's actually, it's true. We are going into a competitive environment. However, don't forget how much we need other people and how it truly is who you know. It's not always, how good you are at something or how intelligent you are. It's truly about the relationships that you make. And sometimes we forget about this as business students when we are doing case competitions and all of these things, which are important. So hear me out. But my biggest piece of advice is truly to pursue meaningful friendship with your classmates. Ask them questions, ask them how they're doing. Everyone is struggling with something, no one has it all together. Go to your professors and get to know them. Go to as many networking events as you can, not with the goal of improving your resume or getting more connections on LinkedIn, but go to networking events to get to know people. And also do well in your classes, not to get good grades, but to become a better business person. So take ownership of your schoolwork, because it's so easy when you are a student to get so consumed with, I want to get an A, I want to get a high GPA, rather than consuming the information so that you can actually be a better business person. And it's a frame of mind I didn't actually get until my last year of university. So if you guys can do that right away in your first few years, you will get so much more from this degree. So that would probably be my main piece of advice.
My name is Tina Johnson-Adams. As Susanna mentioned, I am a program specialist with the Haskein faculty. So what that means is I work with students all the way from admission, getting ready to transition into university like you are, and making sure you have all the tools you need to get through to graduation. So I actually work with a team of 6 program specialists, and one of them is with us today, furiously answering your questions in the chat. Her name is Rochelle. So thank you for being here with us, Rochelle. As Rex mentioned, there is going to be a lot of important information going to your UCalgary email address. So the earlier you can get that set up, the better. Lots of important information around your registration, course delivery, what that's going to look like for fall, as well as any opportunities to connect with us are going to be going to that inbox. So do make sure you're monitoring that throughout the summer so that you're not missing out. Before I kind of jump into what supports are available for you, I know something that's probably top of mind right now is what the heck am I registering in for this upcoming year, and what does that look like? So I actually made a little poll, and I see lots of you have already participated in that, which is great. I'm just going to show the results here. So we keep talking about this thing called cohorts, and it looks like there's a good portion of you that have an understanding of what that is, but then I see there's maybe about 30% of you that are a little bit confused about what that means, and that's okay. If you haven't started the registration process quite yet, you might not know what cohorts are all about. So what I'm going to do, just because we've had so many questions, Sherry, do you want to just touch on the reason we have cohorts and why students should be selecting a cohort to register in?
So we started cohorts a few years ago, and it was out of student requests that they were feeling like you're coming in, there's 800 or so students. How do I get to know all these students, or at least some of them really well? I might be coming from an international location or outside of Calgary. I don't know anybody, and I'm having a hard time meeting people in my classes. So your business classes will generally be quite small, and some of your other classes, the general ed classes, maybe your math or your econ, some of those can be really big, and you'll get to class and you'll look around and you'll be like, I have no idea which students are business students. So what we've done is we've scoured through a lot of the required courses that you have in your first 2 terms, whether it's math or econ or I'm trying to think stats as well. And so what we've done is we've bundled them into cohorts. So the same 60 people that are in your business classes, you will see in your giant class of 300 to 400 in econ. And you will be able to reach out to them and say, hey, let's get together and form a study group, etc., or just get to know each other better. So sometimes that's really important. And so we've designed these cohorts with 60 people in mind. So that's why it's important to register in a cohort, because if you don't, then you're essentially taking a spot away from a student who wants to belong to that cohort. So I highly encourage you to do it. It's a great way to meet other people. We've had a whole year of isolating and being on our own, and we might need a little bit of help to reach out and learn how to make friends again, and especially in the business school. So that's why I encourage it. Thanks, Tina.
Perfect. A great explanation of why they're so important. So we have lots of questions about, is this mandatory? And I think Sherry did a great job of explaining, why these are so important. Now, your registration date is going to be coming up shortly. And in fact, at the end of this presentation, there's going to be a QR code that's going to link you to a survey. When you complete that survey, you're going to be given priority registration for your courses. As Jim alluded to, our registration numbers are up, and which is exciting for us, but what that means is our courses can fill up very quickly. So the earlier you can get on top of your registration and be getting your courses sorted out, it's really going to give you an advantage to getting a schedule that's going to work best for you. Now, I'm not going to be talking a lot about registration today because that would take me about an hour. However, in the chat, I have put some important links for you that will take you to some resources that go through what courses you'll need, what the cohorts are, how to register in those cohorts. So please take a look at that. I do see someone or some folks have found the cohorts, but they're a little bit confused. Totally understandable. Tomorrow, or rather Monday, I will be hosting a first-year BCom registration workshop. So for any folks here who just need a little bit more assistance or want to walk through that process, that will be happening Monday at 4 p.m. And I have put a link in the chat as well for details on how to access that workshop. So I hope I see you there. We'll be going over all of the nitty-gritty of how to get into the courses that you need. So next I'm going to talk more about what supports are available for you now, but also as you go throughout your degree. So I'm just going to put up a slide that kind of goes over some of the main supports here. As I mentioned, you have a whole team here at Haskayne who is really dedicated to seeing you be successful. That comes from down to academics, making sure you're getting connected with extracurricular activities that you might be interested in, as well as folks who are there to support you through your career journey, whether that is on campus or while you're doing your program or after graduation. Perfect. If you have a moment, please feel free to take a picture of this slide. I know it's a lot of text, but why I wanted to show this to you is because I know when I was a first-year student, there was so much support available, but I didn't really know where to go. And so feel free to take a snapshot of this. So if you want to come back and reference this, if you're looking for support, you're not sure who to talk to, take a look here and see who might be the most helpful for you in terms of what you're looking for. If you just have no idea where to start, please feel free to always reach out to your BCom program specialists like Rochelle and I, and we will either be able to assist you or we can at least get you to the right place. We can make referrals to other resources on campus. So we have pretty great knowledge of all of the different offices around campus and where you can get the information that you need. So program specialists are here to help you with your degree and your course registration. We're also here to help you with any program changes. So if you are thinking, you know what, I'm not sure if I'm in the right concentration, or I heard about this leadership certificate and I really want to add that onto my program, your program specialists are there to walk you through that process. If you're thinking of international exchange like Davis or Jackie, I know our options are limited right now, but I'm hoping in a couple of years when you're ready to go on an exchange, that's going to look a little bit different. We can walk you through that process, and we have over 30 partners around the world where you can do a formal Haskayne International Exchange, which is an exclusive program for BCom students. We're also here to kind of help you interpret any academic rules and regulations you might have some confusion about. We aren't on campus right now, unfortunately, although we're looking forward to being there soon. But in the meantime, you can always email us at undergraduate@haskayne.ucalgary.ca. We also have a dedicated academic development specialist. So if you're needing just a little bit more support in terms of your academic skills or trying to meet your academic goals, whether you're struggling and just need support, or you're just not where you want to be and you're looking for some strategies to get where you want to be academically, our academic development specialist is there to support you with reaching some of those goals. Also, if you have any questions about accessibility or potential barriers to your learning, we do recommend reaching out to our academic development specialist. That's Susan Basude. You can see her email address there. And I know she is more than happy to connect with students before they even get to campus. So we already consider you Haskayne students. And so if you want to reach out to learn about what support Susan can offer you, I encourage you to do so. We also have multiple research centers in Haskayne that right now are advancing research and elevating education in areas that are really central to today's complex business environment. So I've only listed a handful there. We have the Canadian Centre for Advanced Leadership. We have the Centre for Corporate Sustainability, the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and so on. And I know Davis may have mentioned the Westman Center for Real Estate Studies for any folks who are interested in the real estate concentration. So lots going on campus that you can tap into. In fact, you will have a chance to work with the Hunter Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation when you take your entrepreneurial thinking course, which is Entrepreneurship 317. You'll actually work with a group of students to create a business idea in that course, and groups compete in what we call the Rbc Fast Pitch. And every term, the winning group walks away with $100,000 to start their entrepreneurial journey. So take a look at the Rbc Fast Pitch if you have a time to Google that. There's some pretty amazing ideas that are coming out of Haskayne already from an undergraduate level. So it's pretty inspiring. Our Canadian Centre for Advanced Leadership also offers really unique courses such as the Haskayne Wilderness Retreat and the Leadership Expedition. So these are really unique courses in that you're not stuck in the classroom. You actually go out to the Rocky Mountains. For us, that's Kananaskis, and you get to spend depending on the course, a few days or a week with other BCom students to really just cultivate your practical skills as well as qualities to thrive in the leadership world. Last but not least, we imagine that you're in this degree because at one point you'd like to get a career, or at least that's our goal for you. So in order to support you with that, we do have the Career Development Specialist team. Again, they work only with BCom students. They're here to help you explore your skills and interests, looking at your career options, and assisting you with professional networking. So do keep an eye out, again, your UCalgary email. Depending on your concentration, you'll probably be receiving some really great correspondence from your development specialists for networking opportunities or different career opportunities that come up. This is also the team that you would work with if you choose to do a co-op with the BCom program, which is a 12 to 16 month experiential or work integrated learning opportunity. So if you have any more questions about how to incorporate a co-op program into your BCom, do reach out to us or go ahead and search Haskayne Co-op. So I know that's a lot of information. Again, if there's anything that I want you to take away is that do not hesitate to reach out to us if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're not sure if you're on the right track. I know I remember it being a little bit intimidating to reach out, but please don't hesitate. We are so excited to connect with you. And now I'm going to hand it back to Zuzana. I think we have a little bit of time for some final Q&A. So hand it back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tina. We now have some time to take any other questions for our presenters today. So if you have any, you can put some in the chat in the Q&A. But one, Melanie, I'm going to ask you a question about some options. What was, in your degree, what was your favorite option that you took, either a junior or a senior non-commerce option?
For sure. So for my options, because I'm an international business, so I was just thinking, oh, taking a second language, learning a different language. So I took Japanese as my option, and it was definitely a great experience because with language courses, there's same cohort, same people that we keep moving forward in the same classes, going to the same upper level together. So, and I just had a really great experience. And until today, I actually decided to add a Japanese minor to my degree. So, and other options, I guess, I was really fun exploring. There's non-commerce wise, there's film classes that I was interested in. So I learned a little bit about film. There was also econ courses that was a great addition to my business side of knowledge. And it really helped me to understand the mechanics behind if you're doing finance or if you're doing accounting, econ, it's really great to learn as it's what's going on behind those.
Great, thank you for sharing that. Davis, I have a question for you. How do you balance coursework and extracurricular activities?
That's a really great question. I think for me, one of the things I did, and I currently still do, is I have a planner, which I time block. So I'm able to put in all my classes, and this could be done online or paper. And I just put in all my different classes that I have. And then I kind of go, so I do classes first, and then I would do extracurricular. So say if I have classes from 9:30 to 5:30 with obviously some breaks in there, then I would schedule in like my extracurriculars. Maybe it's 5:30 to 6:30. So I think time blocking was something that really worked well for me. And I still do it today for work with meetings and everything. So I think that's something that I do that worked really well.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Zainab, I have a question for you real quick. Back when we were on campus, what was your favorite place to eat or study?
No, it was definitely TFDL. Even though it gets really crowded there, it's just like a place where everybody goes, and you can even book rooms separately in TFDL, which Matheson Hall is going to do as well. But there you can work as a group. You can have a quiet place to study with like a group of friends. You're even like, since business is a lot of group work, you can even meet your group there. So it's just like a really nice place for everyone to meet and gather. And it's near Mac Hall, so you can get food as well. So that's my favorite place.
Great, thanks. Yeah, TFDL is a really nice building. And Sherry, I have a question for you. What extracurricular activities are available online for students to participate in?
Well, there's so many different activities that they can be registered in. You can be, if you like sports, we've got tons of sports and intramural sports, basketball, volleyball, there's hockey, there's all sorts of things. And as, you know, once we are back to face-to-face, you know, I'm really looking forward to being over at the rec center and seeing some of those things going on. In my younger days, I always used to put together a team every fall and winter for volleyball and basketball myself, but my knees can't handle it anymore. So you guys are going to have to take that on and put together your own Haskayne teams and play against each other. We also have so many extracurriculars that are not just Haskayne clubs, but also clubs across campus. We work with the engineering faculty. We have lots of BComs that are working on things like the solar car. We've got some other clubs that are bio-oriented. So over at the Cummings School of Medicine, they're always looking for business students to be part of these teams because creating a good business plan is really important. So those are things that may not be obvious to some students.
Great, thank you for sharing that, Sherry. And I wanted to say thank you to all of our panelists for answering the questions. I will hand it back to Melanie and Zainab for any closing remarks.
Thank you, Susanna. So that wraps up our presentation today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.